group have worked hard. You've got a grade, you've got a strand, you have learning goals and success criteria for the overall unit to consider the questions that teachers will ask and the questions that learners will ask. You've thought about assessment throughout the unit and where assessment as of and for will be coming into play throughout the unit. Now it's time to drill down and figure out what the lessons are actually going to be. You're going to start with lessons that introduce the unit, finding out what learners already know about the topic, and then you're going to work all the way through so that the lessons are supporting the culminating task that you're going to have them work on. So some things to keep in mind when you're developing your lessons is that you're incorporating questioning throughout. Many teacher candidates tend to organize their lesson plans through minds-on, action, and consolidation, a 3-part lesson. And I encourage you to do that as well. Remember, these are not full lesson plans. It's a lesson plan overview. But you need to include enough detail for the reader to be able to know and understand the scope and sequence of each lesson and how that works throughout the entire unit. So there is going to be a little bit more detail, but not a full lesson plan. You also want to consider for each lesson learning goals. There should be a learning goal for each lesson. And if you're having the learners work cooperatively in their activities, then you should have social goals as well. You're going to think about assessment. You've got an overview of your assessment now, so which one of those are going to actually come into play for each one of your lessons? So make sure you're thinking about assessment as, of, and for each lesson. Now, you're not going to have all 3 for each lesson every time, but you're definitely going to have assessment for each lesson because you're constantly giving feedback. If you're giving them a quiz or a performance task or a mini task to do individually to find out where they are in that stage of their learning, then that would be assessment of, and then therefore assessment for learning would be taking place at that time. So remember, it doesn't have to be all 3, but there has to be assessment happening for each lesson. Make sure your lessons are interactive. That means you want them working cooperatively, you want them engaging with the information. This doesn't just mean researching and going online and researching. Think of ways and search out ways online to make the learning really meaningful to their experience, things that they can do hands-on. Think about some of the videos that you've watched throughout our class time together, throughout the modules, to kind of figure out different ways that you can make the learning come to life for them and make it really hands-on and meaningful. Make sure your lessons are leading to that culminating task. So if you have a culminating task where you're having the students build something or create something, you have to build into your lessons opportunities for them to learn those skills to be able to build or create whatever you're asking them to do. So thinking about all of this is a lot. So make sure to consider your partners in this. Remember that this is a collaborative task. Everyone needs to contribute to the lessons that you are developing. And if you decide to divide up the lessons, so one person takes the first 3, another person takes the next 3, etc., make sure that there is a scope and sequence to those lessons. There has to be continuity between all of the lessons that clearly shows how you're meeting expectations, but then also leading to that culminating task. So make sure that you're communicating with each other in terms of what lessons you're developing and how they meet the goals of your overall unit. Also remember to be patient with one another. It's a busy time. Lots of things are due right now. So make sure that you're supporting each other in that as well. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Anything at all, I'm here to support.